Okay, so after I ran out of YouTube tape, I started again and talk about the homemade wood stove. That is an ammo can, and it heats this place sufficiently, even when it's really cold. You got to keep it running full blast because these plastic panels aren't very good on installation, but yeah, it does the job. Keeps us cozy. We hang out here in the wintertime. Over here in the electrical corner, we've got our ice maker. And what we have here is a bunch of handheld, rechargeable electrical Ryobi tools. They are sufficient for what we need here in the cabin. We're not counting on them. They're not heavy-duty tools, but they are rechargeable and use the sun to keep the leaves blown off the deck. They're good for cleaning short little chimneys too. First aid kit, extra batteries. Over here is extra batteries, and then up top there's extra batteries and a battery charger. And we can hook that up to the inverter to charge the batteries. So we've got 12 volt plugs everywhere. This is a 12 volt SES flex charge system. It's got 180 watts of solar panels down the hill. Started with a small system I got off, I don't know if, I think it was Harbor Freight, and it was 72 watts, and that's when we quickly found out that you need bigger solar panels. And we've replaced the charge controller, the inverter, and everything but the solar panels that came with that system. So don't buy the Harbor Freight system, folks. Go ahead and go for the max you can afford at the best place you can afford. I like Renogy systems, and Renogy. Their panels are very easy to hook up and put out a lot. I mean, a 100-watt panel is not very big at all. This is a wall of nature. We got a bunch of turtle shells we found on the property. We did not clean the turtle shells out. Somebody did that for us. We're assuming raccoons. We've got ventilation fans for ventilation. And we can open the door behind there, and that will keep the air circulating throughout the cabin while we're cooking, backing up the smoke in the wood stove, or it's too hot. And then there's a bug screen over the back door. There is our entertainment system, and that is it. And it is perfectly adequate. So that's the lodge that we call for hanging out, getting out of the rain, getting out of the sun, getting out of the cold. Sort of getting out place. And then around to the other side of the cabin. I didn't bore you with the walk. There's the back. There's a place where a chunk broke off in a storm last year. This is just too brittle. It's not cutting it. And then kind of a back porchy thing, which we've got over our death scooter. This is the Darth scooter of death that we use to run around and go back and forth to the barn and up and down the big hills that we don't want to walk on. And back here we have our batteries. The box below holds the golf cart batteries. There's two of those 6-volt golf cart batteries in series, so it's 12 volts total. And then we stick the spare batteries we have. One's a car battery, and the other one in the black case is just a lawnmower battery. And we use those for portable power taking the radio with us or jumping the scooter because it doesn't get run enough. And that's the back of the cabin for emergency egress, because apparently that's important when the shit's on fire. I don't know, my mother taught me that. Over here is the sleeping cabin from the side I showed you before. This is the empty cooler that brings all the food to the cabin. We're heating up some water for washing. That's from the spring. And then there's the little window. There's another little window on the other side for cross breeze. It doesn't get that bad. In the summertime it's a little warm, but this is the tri-state area. And here is the necessary room. It's set for toxic right now, but you can set it for normal necessities. And in here we've got a two-holder, water in one, sawdust in the other. And just regular composting toilet. The other one's more of a black water, gray water system that you don't need to know where it goes. And then I sided it with corrugated metal. Very simple. That's a battery operated light that has LEDs in it. Lasts almost forever. And that's the potty. And around here is the bath chamber with a feed trough, bathtub. And there's the inside of the bottle wall. See? No bottles set in concrete. There's my charming wife, who's you've seen down at the studio. Some plexiglass windows that we actually bought and paid for to have a nice view of the woods while you're sitting there taking your shower, bath, whatever. A couple of towels. This is the sink stand. There's the sink. And then some shelving and basic bathroom stuff. I don't take any credit for any decoration. I'll walk over here up the road a little bit. And there's the compound. That's the sleeping cabin with the restrooms in the back. There's the lodge. There's the road down to the road that takes you to the road. Off the side of the side road. There's a parking area. A little dump truck. And we're gonna walk today and head on up the road. Whereas last time we went down the road. So I will break this up so that you don't have to walk the entire walk with me. But our first interesting stop will be the wood pile. We've converted dead trees into shorter dead trees. And then from here, we take those dead trees and turn them into firewood. And a rabbit hutch. When we had rabbits, we used to bring them up on the weekends because we didn't trust them. Our pay-per-view was going crazy. So we started bringing them up here. But we don't have any rabbits anymore. So we still have the rabbit hutch. The wood is covered with the Ondura roofing that I have on my barn and down on the studio. keep the wood out of the rain because it's all still drying out. Even though we cut down a 4-year-old dead tree, when I chopped it up, I found that it smoked like crazy. The blue buckets, well, anybody that knows anything about composting toilets knows what I've got in those blue buckets. This one's almost ripe. The one on the right side, that's almost ripe. That's ready to be cooked off and put in a compost pile with everything else and stirred in and turned into soil that we're trying to create gardens with. That one, yeah, don't lick it. Now we're going to carry on down the road. And around this corner, you can see my old dead truck. It's a 1987 Ford F-150 4x4 that no longer has one of its fours and is losing its six. The engine we've given up the ghost, folks. It's got the death rattle from hell, and it leaks like crazy. But it's got born 300,000 miles on it, and it's automatic. But we are probably going to scrap this because I'm looking for a replacement. It's got to be 4-wheel drive, and it's got to be full size. And then in the back, we've got some various things, mostly junk. We've got a lawnmower back there that no longer functions. We got a wood pile, a couple of pallets. But put your unsightlies out of sight, and they're not sighted anymore, which is why they call them unsightly. And then we walk down from the lumber yard where the truck is parked, and you can see off in the distance Dave and Ann's place. Those are very good friends of ours that like to hang out here and help us take care of the place and build things and make things, and one day they'll probably live out here with us. And their place is a little off the ground shed. I'm not going to show you the inside because they're not here right now, and that would be rude. But I'll give you the outside tour. Most of the wood is from a friend of ours. When we moved up here, a neighbor had given us a bunch of rough cut oak, and Dave's place is almost made entirely of that rough cut oak, and he's used it to side the front, and it's got Tyvek siding the sides in the back yet. Some old reclaimed roof metal from our barn that went to make his porch. And we used some trees, cut down a hickory tree that was in the way, and used that to make railings and posts. And it's sitting on 8 pilings. Perfectly stable little 12 by 12 cabin. Is just a bed and another handmade heater that I made out of a propane tank. It keeps that place nice and toasty. And this is their view. See, they can't even see the truck from here. Well, folks, that's it for today. That's the top end of Farm Fresh goodness. That's where we stay when we're here. For now.